What's up everybody, peace keep with you guys, welcome back to the Town Hall 14. So this isn't like a regular video I would do, but I ended up getting a comment on one of the videos, on the Legend League videos that I did, and someone asked me, I can't remember their name specifically, I think it was Steve, if I probably am wrong, but they asked me how did I max out, well, close to max out free to play as a Town Hall 14. So my answer that I basically told him was it is easy, and I'm gonna basically try to clarify what I mean by easy. It comes into two categories. It can be easy and still be hard. So I'm gonna show you why is that. So probably in the video maybe we can actually do a attack. So before that we'll do the attack after. So telling you that it is easy and hard at the same time. So the point is I'm trying to make is that it really depends on how you spend your resources, spend your magic items, medals as well. Medals is the key thing here. Medals and your books. So the reason I max out pretty decently is because I always try to stock up on the best stuff. See, I have a free book of heroes, I have a book of everything, like rare stuff you normally don't always get. The runes as well play a huge part in this. So, the first thing is heroes. I try to get my heroes down every other war sometimes, and I use my medals accordingly depending on which hero is getting close to max. So I have 281 medals. I had 500, but I used some war rings. I used some medals for war rings. So that is the main thing. So every CWL, I would drop a hero before silver comes around. So I would drop at least one hero before silver comes around. Next off, when Silo is over, heroes are off limits. I won't do any hero upgrades at all. No hero upgrades comes down to that. So when Silo is coming down to being ended, when I finish my last Silver attack, I try to get two heroes down, which is harder than it looks. Depends on if you have the Warden. If you just have the King and Queen, you can do it pretty easily, I would say, because you'll probably have a rune if you have a rune. If you don't have a rune, you gotta farm. You're going to have to farm. That is the bottleneck of it. You can't get away from it, really. You gotta farm. If you aren't free to play and you just buy these, it's totally fine. But if you are free to play, you need to farm. You need to farm at least the king and queen, the warden as well. So if you are accustomed to having the queen a ton, like me, I would be dropping my king. So you won't be dropping your queen at all. I know that sounds stupid and weird, but you won't be dropping your queen at all. You'll be actually dropping the king. So if you just have the king, queen, and warrior, you'll be dropping the king. If you like the queen walk, queen charge, like I normally like to do, just have the queen in general, you would use your medals on her. You would use your medals. Or even a book. If you have the loot for the king and queen, you would drop the king and queen, use your book on the queen, and then you drop the warden. So I always have a hero down, especially elixir. I'm pretty decent elixir, and I am in Legends League also, so it's pretty satisfying for that as well. So that is the hero point there already. Now we're gonna start the laboratory. So laboratory, I'm just working on the siege. I'm not really fussing to get this master pretty quickly. It is pretty useful, but I don't need to fully drop that yet. So next off, we talked about the heroes and Dark Elixir as well. Now we're going to start on the Dark Elixir side in the laboratory. So 98% of the time, I don't use Dark Elixir in the lab, and I'm going to show you why. So talking about the heroes, using a medal or two on the heroes, I would only do that once in a blue moon sometimes. Most of the time I would just have the king down and not use any books or use any hammers, medals on the heroes at all. I would actually use my medals on dark troops. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you want to have your heroes down all the time. You want to grind your heroes all the time. 99% of the time you want to grind your heroes. So the point is why I do that is I would use hammer fighting on war armies. On war armies that I'm going to use and I know that I'm going to be decent at, and then there's some that I just upgrade because of it and use them in war here and there, like Valkyries. You don't really see Valkyries in war a ton, but I will still max them out and use them here and there if needed. I haven't used them in a while in war, but I still love the Valkyrie. But you're going to be upgrading troops that you use like probably ice column if you want to use a flavor ACG if you're at Town Hall 12. But for me, I use pretty standard armies. The first one I believe I maxed was Hogs, then Lalo, and like expensive stuff. Like Hogs are expensive, so you're gonna especially upgrading them. So you're gonna be using Hammer Fightings. You're gonna save your medals. That is basically I would say the best thing to be free to play, knowing how to spend your medals as well. I know you can just spend them on random stuff and they're going to be upgraded anyways, but I think it's really a tactic because the laboratory is the longest thing in the game, as well. Longest thing in the game. You're gonna have to max out these troops and spells if you want to progress. So like upgrading very expensive stuff like the Hound, the balloons as well. I counteract them with Elixir and Dark Elixir, but medals always go Dark Elixir for me. And then if I really need Elixir troop, I would use a hammer on that. But that's really it for the laboratory side. Now the wall side. Yes, not everyone loves the walls. I don't always like grinding walls, but I'm in Legends League. I don't have to worry about walls right now. We did get all the other walls for the update, so I'm just slowly but surely upgrading the walls and upgrading these new collector levels as we go. But the walls are a pain. Yes, we know they're a pain. I have 6 builders. If you're free to play, it is rough, but you need to grind build a hall. You gotta grind build a hall. I'm max on build a hall here, so I don't have all I'm really pulling from build a hall gems and clan game stuff if clan games comes around. Clan games isn't around right now, so I can't really fully talk about clan games and how to um, basically be 100% bang your buck when you're doing clan games. But for this, you're going to be doing walls. And for walls, you always want to have a builder. So for me, how I do my upgrades, I segment my upgrades. So currently I just have the Dark Elixir drill and all the Dark Elixir drills down because I don't have to worry about them because I don't have to segment my other upgrades because they're just collector upgrades. So say the big upgrades I would just use hammers on because I like to be in war. But if you are not much of like a 100% war player, you're gonna basically want to segment your upgrades if you can, especially if you don't want to be playing every single day. Even though I play every single day, I still segment my upgrades. My taunt 12 is probably going to be painful on that, but for me, I this if this is 18 days, I'm gonna upgrade that, and then I'm gonna probably upgrade other smaller stuff or stuff that is actually longer than this 18-day upgrade, like the Eagle I think. So they're gonna be 18-day, 20-day, probably like a small 7-day, 6-day, and segment your upgrades like that. So a builder will come probably every day or every 2 days. So you won't have to like fully grind. You're gonna have to worry about only one builder, and that one builder should be your last and final builder being walls. So if you aren't in Legends, you can grind. You can really grind your walls out, and these are the most expensive walls also, but the walls are cheaper. So if you are free to play like me and other people that are probably watching the video are not, you are want to be upgrading walls. And yes, walls are boring. We know walls are boring, but at the end of the day, you want to be have a fully maxed base. I like my 14, and I have 104 walls left. Um, to the update came out, I actually had 7 walls left. I finished those and I got close to finishing those when the update came out. So it's totally fine. We can finish the rest of the walls, which is good. So you're basically going to be segmenting defensive upgrades and basically having them on a schedule. I don't have a schedule, I just upgrade on what I feel is necessary defensive wise. I finished my Teslas first, so those are the first big upgrades I finished, and I think they were 15, 16 days a piece, somewhere around there. So I did one Tesla, did something small like a trap, did like another Tesla like 2 days before. So like I was basically grinding loot. And you're at Legends League now, so you don't have to worry about losing loot, so it's easier. So I basically did 6 Teslas all in probably the space of a couple weeks, and I had all of them down. And because there are 5 Teslas, there are 5 Teslas, and I have 5 builders on 5 Teslas, and they weren't like all coming in the same day. Some were coming like 2 days before one another. So I basically had them pretty down pat, and then I worked on the defenses. Defenses aren't really fully needed right now, but I do upgrade them. For me, they are needed. Yes, they are needed to defend in war, but I just space them out depending on how stuff goes. And I always have the most expensive upgrade, which is defensive wise the strongest defense I would say. Always have at least one down. So I had four exposed down at one point with like an archer tower here and there. So you really know how to work your loot in a way, how to manage your loot, and basically how to get your stuff done, especially heroes. Heroes and upgrades in the laboratory are like the main thing. But I hope that made sense. I hope I explained that well enough. If I haven't, please let me know in the comments so that I can try to find touch some stuff for you guys. But if that's not done, we're gonna do a war. We're gonna do a Legends League attack. I haven't been using CC troops. It's totally fine on me because I'm basically just having fun in Legends League. So I'm basically not worrying about CC troops or anything like that. Just testing out these super dragons. I like these super dragons so far. They are pretty handy. They are a little base dependent. I would say yes. But you need to basically try to not force it on a base, but work your way around it and see how well they can work. I've seen them in the Houdini. I tried them in the Houdini with the Super Dragons, and it's pretty strong. Um, Not to say so myself. So we are gonna do some of these war attacks. I'm loving the Flame Flinger. The Flame Flinger is actually very fun to use. As well, it is slow, but you always have to have a bottleneck on a something pretty strong. So we're gonna send the king along here and the queen. So I'm basically just doing like a small dive with the hero stuff, and this flame thing is probably gonna die here soon, which is fine. But we're just enjoying the Legends League right now and the loot as well. The loot changes. If you want to be in Legends League, I would recommend it. I would recommend being in Legends League because the loot is good. Loot is very good. So we're gonna send the heroes down here. King decided to come directly into the melee base, which is good. Um, wasn't what I fully expected, but we'll take it. So the king is in the center. We're gonna just drop rages down as well. It seems you need like a ton of rages in a way, but you need to be like very. You don't want to be spamming your rages. You want to be pretty fine tuned with your rages. And I believe this army can triple bases, and it is very strong because the dragons have an insane amount of hit points, and they do have like a little burst, I would say, before they actually have to shoot again. So they take their time to shoot, which isn't that bad. But you need to be like Galadon always says, spell timing and placement. So that you can see where it comes into play. So spell time and placement on this army as well is very needed. Like most armies, probably 99% of the armies. Well, all of the armies you need to be like that. But I like the dragons so far. They're very strong. And I'll probably keep using it without CC troops, and I'm liking it so far. Just hanging out in Legends League and basically like farming the loot as well to keep upgrading these walls. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, it probably wasn't entertaining, but just trying to help free to play players like myself and show people that you can max out free to play without spending money in the game. I don't mind it, people spending money in the game. That keeps the game growing, but I've been playing the game for so long free to play. When I started, um, it's just been regular to me. That's why I haven't put any card on the game as well. But that is it for me. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.